book of 2 Ezra, chapter 5, and verse 3. And the land that thou seest now to have root shall thou see wasted suddenly. Verse 4. If the Most High grant thee to live, thou shalt see after the third trumpet, that the sun shall suddenly shine again in the night.
I got give me some context of what we're speaking about right here. Where are we at?
2 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 3.
Read 1.
Okay. This is the book of 2 Ezra, chapter 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
That's speaking about death. That's speaking about judgment day. Go ahead.
And the way of truth shall be hidden.
You understand what that's speaking about? Meaning, so many people will die, so many people will be gone, and the way of truth will be hidden. We're living in that time right now. And there's a great time of death that's also coming. Why? Because the way of truth is hidden. Right? The path to the truth. You know what? When you're in the truth in America, they say that you're in a cult. They say you're crazy. They say you're a hate group. And when you're in a lie in America, and when you are an open white supremacist who hates Mexicans and hates black people, they call you the president of the United States. That's why death is coming. Because people enjoy lies and they hate the truth. Continue.
And the land shall be barren of faith.
And the land shall be what?
Be barren of faith.
That's why Donald Trump won this election. He won this election because this world is barren of faith. Barren of it. There is none. Can I prove it to you? Give me what happened this week in Kaline, Texas. I'm not sure if it was even Texas. When these people tried to put up a cold center for poor people. As you know, it's a cold front is destroying America right now. I think up there, places like Delaware, places even further south, they're getting 8 inches of snow, places that never receive snow. So because of that, some people wanted to put up what's called a warming center, because they know that a record number of Americans live outside in tents. Most of you have seen these people by now. They're everywhere. They're in every major city. They're in the rural people. So the government wanted to put up these places called warming centers that you can go into if the cold reaches below, I think, 15 degrees, right? Yadai will put the story up. I believe this will crystallize the point that the Most High God is making here. Please read it one more time.
Okay. Verse 1, sir. Okay. This is the book of 2 Ezra, 5, verse 1. Nevertheless, as coming the tokens, behold, the day shall come that they which dwell upon earth shall be taken in a great number.
Keep going.
And the way of truth shall be hidden.
Keep going.
And the land shall be barren of faith. Keep
going.
Verse 2. But iniquity shall be increased.
Iniquity shall be what? Increased. There is no way that you could win a presidential election in America without being overtly evil to black people. That's the key to success. You would have to be overtly evil to Hispanics. The Democrats hate black people too. The Democrats hate Mexicans. The problem is they don't wear their hatred out in front of them. You can't tell how much they hate Mexicans. They don't overtly hate black people in the Democratic Party. And that's why they cannot win an election. You're going to have to overtly hate blacks and Hispanics to have success in America. And it's for this reason. Read that again.
But iniquity shall be increased. Wickedness will be increased. Every evil thing you can imagine, before you know it, to assault a child will become just another sexual preference. Just like Commanding General Yahanna said years ago. The things that you would consider absolutely vile will be considered commonplace, and the cruelty to the poor will be considered righteousness. Let me prove it to you. Do you have it yet? Please put it up on the screen.
Warming center. A Kaysville community is doing all they can to fight plans for a Code Blue warming center in their city.
I want you to pause it when you
Dozens
see
County
the front.
Commission meeting
I'll tell you
today.
when to pause it.
Specialist Mike Anderson was there, and he joins us live to explain why Davis County leaders are saying it's already a done deal. Mike?
Yeah, Dina, so county commissioners are pointing some of the blame at the state law, which calls for the committees that create these warming centers to do so in private meetings. And now this building will become one of 3 warming centers in Davis County. And a lot of people are saying it's wrong that they were kept out of the loop.
We don't want answers. We don't want the shelter.
Tensions rise as Davis County commissioners move to.
What does that say on the front of that table right there? Can anyone read it? In God we trust. In God we trust. And there are about 100 people in this room complaining because they dared to set up a warming center that would warm homeless people who live outside in less than 15-degree weather. And it caused an uproar in the town. And all the while they're angry about poor people, homeless people getting warm. In God we trust is in the front of them. That's America. That's our oppressor. Before you know it, being cruel to homeless people will be God's will. It will be what God wants. It will be considered righteous to make sure that homeless people, homeless children freeze to death. Keep playing.
To close the public comment portion of their meeting this morning.
You were elected by all of these people in the room and you're not listening to us.
Some people objecting to a positive email being read into the meeting.
One that you choose to listen to rather than 100 people in front of you.
All of them opposed to making this former emissions testing center at 600 West and Old Mill Lane a Code Blue warming center as required by state law when temperatures are forecast below 18 degrees.
The people that are coming to these homeless shelters do not want help. They're drug addicts. They do horrific things. I have small children. This is not why we elected you.
Commissioners say they have no other option now that another proposed location was shut down in Fruit Heights.
This is not why we elected you. We elected you to freeze poor people to death. That's why we elected you. They only go into this place when it gets below 18 degrees out. Do you understand? When it's 20 degrees, you freeze to death. This place is closed. 22 degrees, this place is closed. It has to go below 18. You know what that means also, right? At 18 degrees, this place is closed. It's closed. We didn't elect you for this. You get elected for freezing people to death. You don't get elected to keep them from dying. They would rather pay people to scoop your dead corpse off the ground than pay to have you keep warm in some warehouse. They'd rather pay people to chisel you off the goddamn sidewalk. That's why Donald Trump won this election. That's why the churches believe that God is with them and in them because they perform cruelty and then attribute it to God. In God we trust. Continue.
A local church had volunteered to provide that space, but later buckled under pressure from that community.
It's been frustrating. It's been frustrating.
A local church, before they moved them into this former emissions testing place, a warehouse, a church said, listen, we'll keep them warm at less than 18 degrees. The public protested so much, the church had to say, we will not keep them warm. A church. We will not do it. Why? Because the people don't want it. And that is the key to Christianity, which I know so many of you out there don't quite get. Okay, you look at people like Donald Trump and Creflo Dollar and T.D. Jakes, and your evil is so focused, your hatred or your contempt is so focused on the leaders of Blacks and Hispanics, the leaders of our enemies. You don't quite understand why they're the leader. They're the leader because the people are evil. The average person that walks into that church every day is a wicked monster. The average person that stands in a line to vote is a contemptible monster. That is the only way that wicked men could stay in power. Let me tell you how bad it is. A lot of people are not wicked, but they know they have to be wicked to succeed. They know they have to. These preachers know they have to accept homosexuality, because if they don't, they won't be able to own a church. There are so many preachers out there who would be against the LGBT community. They would be against abortion. They would be against the sexual lifestyle that people love in America. But these preachers know that if they come against these things, they will lose their congregations. So then who really is the evil one then? The people. The people that go to church, they're wicked. Your grandmother is evil. Your mother, your father, your cousins, your daughter, your son, your wife. They go into that church. The preacher is simply giving them what they want. They're not, in your mind, it's like the preacher is the one fooling them. I wish it was the case. I wish it was the case. They're the wicked leader of a wicked congregation. They're the blind leading the blind. They're chosen by an evil people to be their representative. That's why Donald Trump is president of the United States. I believe that's that on that. You can play a little more if you want to get it in your mind.